BioCellian is a high-performance computing framework that enables systems biologists to simulate large-scale living cell systems on supercomputers.
So I think BioCellian will be a very useful tool.
We are very excited about the possibilities that BioCellian offers because we will be able to model complex systems at unprecedented scales and complexity.
I came to visit Ilya Shmulevich at the Institute for Systems Biology. The purpose of the visit was to identify opportunities where high-performance computing might be useful to him in his work. The place where it looked like there was the greatest opportunity was to simulate the cell systems themselves, because at that time there really weren't any computer applications available to systems biologists that provided both the high performance they needed to simulate systems with hundreds of millions to billions of cells, or the fidelity to capture all of the details.
And it's quite clear that the studies we've done in the past, one gene and one protein at a time, are totally inadequate to understanding biological complexity.
There has been tremendous progress in molecular biology because of the advent of very powerful technologies like DNA sequencing and proteomics, mass spectrometry. And so now we are able to get a much finer picture of biological systems. All of these data are allowing us to understand the nature of these systems and to construct predictive models so that we can make actionable predictions. For example, we can predict which drugs a patient may respond to.
One area that we're modeling with BioCellian here at ISB today is we're modeling how skin functions, all the complexity of skin and how it functions in health and how it functions in disease.
So scientists really who want to focus on their own science become very frustrated working with computers, as many people do. So we proposed to my organization, the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, that we collaborate with the Institute for Systems Biology, where the National Laboratory would provide some seed funding so that we could hire a postdoc, and that postdoc would sit at the Institute for Systems Biology. He would be immersed in systems biology.
So I'm basically a computer scientist with high-performance computing background, and working with many biologists provides me an opportunity to understand the state-of-the-art of current biology research and their modeling requirements. That really helped me to design BioCellian as a flexible and capable software that can accommodate the future biological models actually used by biologists.
BioCellian gives us the opportunity to model very large, complex biological systems at multiple scales of organization. It allows us to do what we could not do before. Previously, it has been possible to model biological systems perhaps at one scale, just model what's happening inside cells, model some aspect of the molecular interactions. Or there have been models that model many cells, but they sort of treat the cells as black boxes. Right now, we are able to take this kind of modeling to the next level and bridge the scales, bridge the molecular and the cellular scales, so that we can have a more complete understanding of the biological system.
We're offering systems biologists an opportunity to write simple code describing their cells and their interactions with other cells, and then BioCellian will take those individual cell descriptions and simulate an entire organism that's constructed from those cells. So an entire organism may have hundreds of millions to billions of cells. It requires far more computing power than is in a single computer. So BioCellian needs to scale the computation across thousands of processors, and that's exactly what it does.
BioCellian is a framework that gives us tremendous speed up compared to standard simulation approaches.
So it took me about a year to set up all the simulations myself previously, and then, well, Tsinghua did it in a couple of weeks. Part of the problem of doing everything yourself is you don't have the time or necessarily the expertise to optimize everything. So having all that work done in the background and doing it efficiently and fast it's a big advantage.
So our vision going forward with BioCellian is to make it as widely available as possible to systems biologists throughout the world. Our plan for doing that is to host BioCellian on a cloud system.
And the idea that you could actually use a modeling process like BioCellian, have this horrendous amount of data stored in the cloud, but could manipulate it from your desktop computer is incredibly exciting.
Currently, these scientists tend to be siloed at their own institutions and have to wait for each other's publications in order to find out what's going on in another lab, what models the other scientists are using, and so on.
In the old days, biologists were used to doing everything by themselves. I think in the new days, biologists are going to have to get used to working in teams because they don't have all the expertise you'll need to be able to cover the complexity of biology.
They'll be able to trade models back and forth with other scientists who are also using BioCellian on the cloud, and that will stimulate broader collaboration amongst the scientists, and we expect accelerate progress.
BioCellian offers really exciting opportunities for exploring the future.